Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show yet again on this Friday afternoon. Paul joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. We've done two videos so far today. One on Keenan Allen going to the Chicago Bears. The other on the Vikings moving up to pick 23 in the NFL draft, adding that to pick 11. Probably going to make a move. Maybe they're going up to number 3 for Jaden Daniels or Drake May. Maybe they have their eyes on J.J. McCarthy. We have our thoughts, but we really have no idea. No one does. It's the NFL offseason. There's smoke screens everywhere. But then out of nowhere, with all this news going on, Aaron Donald retires. Ziggy, I know he's one of your favorite players, as you were a Rams fan for a little bit when you're starting to watch football before coming over to the right side of things. But Aaron Donald retires. You know, he was probably what, your top 5 favorite players to ever watch?
I mean, number one.
Really?
There is nobody like Aaron Donald really ever at the position. As I think of it, he took what Alan Page did at the defensive tackle position, grew the legacy, made it his own. I mean, that 2018 Aaron Donald season, this is my first season really watching football. There is an argument that is the best single season by a defensive player in NFL history.
What were the numbers? Do you have them from that year?
I mean, he put up 20 and a half sacks, but this sort of undersells his impact. You know, it's easy to forget, right? Aaron Donald puts up the sack numbers and the tackle numbers and the pressure numbers of like some of the premier edge rushers in the NFL.
Crazy.
But on the inside, you're facing the bigger guys, the stalwart guys, and you're double teamed 40 or 50% of plays as opposed to like 15 or 20% out on the edge. And what Aaron Donald does to put up 20 and a half sacks, I mean, you'll see this, 2 elite guards or centers, right? Some of the best players in the league will be double teaming, triple teaming, even quadruple teaming Aaron Donald. You should go and look this up. There's a picture of the Seahawks with 4 guys blocking him at once. And Aaron Donald, like, he has this incredible swim move. He will just walk. It seems like he's just walking right between them and then go and tackle the quarterback. You know, there's that play out of Pitt where he tackled a running back and a quarterback at the same time. You know, there was a play against Kyler Murray where he just shoved an offensive lineman into Kyler Murray to knock him to the ground. You know, these guys are 350 pounds and strong. What Aaron Donald did with his size, I'm not sure we'll ever see it again in the NFL.
Well, the work ethic from Aaron Donald, and you see this amongst a lot of the great athletes of all time, and there are a lot of athletes who work really hard and don't, ultimately they don't pan out in the way that a legend would. But Aaron Donald, being a defensive tackle, a little quieter in terms of the national media, despite is unbelievable. I mean, he's probably a top 5 all-time defensive player. You could argue he's right there. So sometimes he could fly a little bit under the radar in terms of people who were talking about football. This dude, the work ethic on him, unbelievable. Like go watch videos of Aaron Donald training. As you said, a little undersized. Never used it as an excuse. Dude is just. I remember videos of him training where his trainer had the knife, not a real knife, a plastic knife, but pretending like he's going in to stab him, and Donald's thwarting it off. I mean, this guy is just one of the all-time competitors in the NFL, and it sucks to see him go. But you're right, Ziggy. I can't tell you how many times when I started watching the Rams a little closer over the past few years, Aaron Donald was probably the only guy. Maybe Myles Garrett is up there, but every single play, go back and watch it. Go pick a random Rams game and just watch the defensive plays for him. He's in the backfield every play, every single time he's winning. And he's going against double teams, like you said. I've never seen anything like it, where he consistently whoops ass over and over and over again. If you look at his Wikipedia page, just the rundown of awards: Super Bowl champion, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 8-time First Team All-Pro, First Team All-Pro this past year as well, 10-time Pro Bowler, Deacon Jones Award 2018. I mean, you just go down the list. Unbelievable season. Finished top 5 in MVP voting, I believe 5, or Defensive Player of the Year voting for 5 straight years now.
And he was
crazy.
robbed in 2021 too.
Yeah, crazy career.
The thing about Aaron Donald, I think that's just so incredible. The thing that'll always stand out to me is when the team needed a stop, when the Rams were in trouble. You know, the offense scores because they have that Sean McVay offense, but you needed a defensive stop to seal the game. Aaron Donald was always there. You know, in 2018, I can think of 3 instances where Aaron Donald had a game-sealing sack. But the ones our fans will remember is in the Super Bowl, right? You remember the Rams score that go-ahead touchdown, Joe
Yep.
Burrow's getting the ball, and you're thinking like, okay, it's time for Joe Burrow to show that he's got it. He and Jamar Chase are going to get it done. And Aaron Donald just says, this is my Super Bowl. I'm winning this ring. He just runs through the offensive line, gets to Burrow over and over again. Game over. There's that iconic shot of him holding up the helmet, right, and waving it around.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember him pointing at his finger, "Ring me."
yeah, he was
He won it on the 4th and 2 or what
to
4th and
have a
3, whatever it was.
defensive tackle go out and do that. Again, if you're not, the position is just unreal to be able to do that. And
And he
there
did
are
it every
only
play.
two
He
players
did it almost
in
every play of
yeah,
his entire career.
no, and you say entire career. There were only 2 years he wasn't a first team All Pro. His rookie season in 2022 when he missed a bunch of games. He was a Pro Bowler every single year. There's only one other player who's been a Pro Bowler every single year of their career, and that was Barry Sanders, who also retired 10 seasons in. And Aaron Donald is at that level of all-time greats to play the position. And honestly, as much as it pains me as a Vikings fan to say this, I don't think you can find a better player at his position in NFL history.
I mean, you can certainly argue it. I'm reading here. 111 sacks in his career, the most for a defensive tackle after his first 10 seasons in NFL history. That's the 11th most by any player. 176 tackles for loss, most by any player in NFL history, first 10 seasons. 260 quarterback hits, second most, and the most for a defensive tackle through their first 10 seasons. I mean, when you look at the body of work that he did over his 10-year career, you can make the argument he could be number one. Like he legitimately is that good. Now longevity comes into play, of course, when you're talking about legacy, but
Yeah,
just
but I
in
mean,
terms of what
eight
he
first team
did,
All
yeah.
Pro seasons.
Oh yeah.
That is
In
plenty
terms of what
long.
he did, we're talking about arguably the best defensive player in the history of football, and that's it sounds like a lot, but the numbers are there to back it up. An unbelievable career and a huge loss for the Rams too, who are, yeah, I thought that they were threatening to be Super Bowl contenders this year with the way they finished last year. Matthew Stafford looked good. I mean, this is a monstrous loss. One of the best players ever.
Yeah,
Brutal.
it's Aaron Donald is retiring, but he's retiring because he's done playing, not because he was bad. I mean, he had what, 8 sacks last year?
He was awesome again. I mean, he's
Yeah, he
first
had
team All Pro.
16 tackles for loss, 23 quarterback hits, first team All Pro, as he said. Like, he was a critical player on this defense, and he would have been good again this year.
Yeah.
So Rams fans, I think, have to be disappointed that
Oh,
he's gone.
crushed.
The
Just
defense is
crushed.
going to get worse, but I don't know. I follow a fair amount of Rams fans. I know some from Southern California. It seems the main response after all this still is gratitude because Aaron Donald, from those tough times in St. Louis to the move to LA, he was sort of the face of the franchise. Even when Jared Goff was there, Aaron Donald was the face of the franchise,
Yep.
and he delivered every single year he played.
No, and the writing had sort of been on the wall. He'd mentioned that he'd considered retirement for a couple
I
seasons
mean,
now.
losing Eric Henderson to USC, I think, probably did it in.
It's look, there's I'm sure a bunch of factors went into this, but yeah, at the end of the day, we got to watch an all-time great for 10 years. Got a Super Bowl champion. Not a lot of guys are able to walk away with the even close to the success that Aaron Donald had and the winning that he did. So great career. We all enjoyed watching him. I know you did more than most, Ziggy. So bittersweet for fans of Aaron Donald and the Rams, but so it goes with football. We appreciate you guys for checking out this breakout clip again. We also had the Keenan Allen and the Vikings trade. Quick reactions to those, and we'll see you next week with more of the Paul Farrington Show.
I'll just say this much, Paul, before we go. It's bittersweet for a lot of people. Here's who it's not bittersweet for: Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith.
Oh
All
yeah,
of them are going to sleep
dude.
easy tonight.
What Kyler tweet? He's like, what did Kyler
He
say?
said, "Thank God," with a
Yeah,
bunch of skull emojis.
yeah. No, it's dude was different. Dude was different. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.